Welcome, dear viewers, to our exploration into the life of one of history's most controversial figures, Joseph Stalin. Before we delve into the depths of his intriguing journey, if you find our content engaging and informative, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest releases. Now let us embark on this voyage through time to an era of revolution and radical ideologies. Get ready to step into the early 20th century, a time that changed the course of human history forever. This is no ordinary tale, but the story of a man who would become synonymous with power, terror, and a legacy that continues to shape the world. Hold on to your seats as we unravel the life and legacy of Joseph Stalin. Our journey begins in the tumultuous era of the early 20th century, a time of revolution and radical ideologies. This was an era when the world was undergoing seismic shifts, and nowhere more so than in Russia. The fall of the Tsarist regime marked the end of an old world, and the rise of the Bolsheviks signified the dawn of a new age. Amidst this upheaval, a civil war engulfed the nation, painting the landscape with the hues of conflict and change. Amidst this chaos, a young man named Joseph Stalin was carving his path right from the rugged terrains of Georgia. His early life was steeped in revolutionary activities, a testament to his iron will and fiery ambition. As the dust of the civil war settled, a new chapter was beginning for Russia. A chapter of transformation, of reformation, and of power. And at the heart of it all, an ambitious man named Joseph Stalin was ready to make his mark. From obscurity to the highest echelons of power, Stalin's ascent was as ruthless as it was strategic. Born to a poor family in the Russian Empire, Stalin's rise to power was not a story of privilege. He clawed his way up from the bottom, using every opportunity to his advantage. As a young man, he found his footing within the Bolshevik party, demonstrating an uncanny knack for organization and a ruthless disregard for his enemies. With the Bolsheviks in power following the Russian Revolution of 1917, Stalin's star began to rise. During these early years, Stalin's role was mostly administrative. He was appointed to the position of General Secretary of the party in 1922. While this role was initially viewed as insignificant by his contemporaries, Stalin understood its potential. He strategically placed his allies in key positions, gradually consolidating power. The death of Vladimir Lenin in 1924 sparked a power struggle within the party. Lenin's last testament, a document that criticized Stalin's character and suggested he be removed from his position, was suppressed by Stalin and his allies. This move marked the beginning of Stalin's campaign to sideline his rivals. The subsequent years were marked by a series of political maneuvers and purges. Stalin outmaneuvered his most potent rivals, Leon Trotsky and Grigory Zinoviev, through a combination of political machinations and brutal repression. By the late 20s, Stalin had effectively become the uncontested leader of the Soviet Union. His rise to power was not just about political cunning and ruthlessness. It was also about selling a vision of the future. Stalin promised a Soviet Union that was strong, unified, and industrialized. He offered the dream of a superpower that could rival the West, and he convinced the people that he was the only one who could deliver it. With his rivals vanquished, Stalin held the reins of a vast empire, poised to implement his vision for the Soviet Union. Stalin's rule was marked by a paradox of progress and paranoia, of industrial might and human misery. At the heart of this paradox were major policies like collectivization, the 5-year plans, and the Great Purge. Collectivization was one of Stalin's earliest policies, a drastic restructure of agriculture aimed at replacing individual peasant farms with large state-controlled enterprises. On one hand, it modernized Soviet agriculture, but on the other, it led to widespread resistance and ultimately a horrific famine that claimed millions of lives. Then there were the 5-year plans, ambitious blueprints for rapid industrialization. These plans transformed the Soviet Union from a primarily agrarian society into a major world industrial power. Yet this achievement came at a terrible cost. Workers labored under grueling conditions, And those who failed to meet the often unrealistic targets faced severe punishments. It was progress, but at the price of human dignity. Perhaps the darkest chapter of Stalin's rule was the Great Purge, a campaign of political repression that lasted from the mid to late 30s. Stalin, in his paranoia, ordered the execution and imprisonment of hundreds of thousands of people whom he perceived as threats to his power. The Great Purge decimated the military, intelligentsia, and ordinary citizens, instilling a climate of fear that would last for generations. The contradictions of Stalin's rule are stark. The rapid industrialization that propelled the Soviet Union to the forefront of global powers is undeniable. Yet it's impossible to overlook the widespread famine, the grueling working conditions, and the political repression that came hand in hand with these advancements. Stalin's reign, a brutal era of transformation, left an indelible mark on the Soviet Union and its people. This reign of terror, marked by both progress and paranoia, is a chilling reminder of the human cost that can come with the pursuit of power and progress. As we navigate through the complexities of Stalin's rule, it's crucial to remember that history is not just about the events, but also about the people who lived through them. The human cost of Stalin's reign is often overshadowed by the grand narratives of rapid industrialization and geopolitical power. Yet the stories of those who suffered under his rule, those who resisted, and those who simply tried to survive, remind us that history is deeply personal. It's about fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, friends and neighbors. It's about communities torn apart, dreams shattered, and lives irrevocably changed. As we reflect on Stalin's rule, let us not forget the individual voices that echo throughout history. The personal tales of resilience, fear, hope, and despair. These voices serve as a potent reminder of the human capacity for endurance, even in the face of unimaginable hardship. They challenge us to question, to empathize, and to learn. As we continue to explore the depths of history, we invite you to join us on this journey of discovery. Like this video, if it has given you new insights, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest releases. Remember, history is a shared journey, and we're glad to have you with us. Stalin's death in 1953 marked the end of an era, but the shadow of his rule lingers on. The legacy of Joseph Stalin is one that is as complex as the man himself. His rule, which spanned nearly 3 decades, left a lasting imprint not only on the Soviet Union but also on the entire world. The perspectives on Stalin's legacy are as varied as the spectrum of human thought. To some, he is seen as a necessary evil, a man whose iron hand guided the Soviet Union from a backward agrarian society to a world superpower. Under his leadership, the nation underwent industrialization and emerged as a key player on the global stage. Stalin's policies, despite their harsh consequences, arguably laid the foundations for the Soviet Union's later achievements in space exploration and scientific advancements. However, there's a darker side to this narrative. To many others, Stalin's rule was a reign of terror, marked by brutal mass repressions, forced labor and widespread famine. Millions of lives were lost and countless more were irrevocably changed. These critics argue that the cost of Stalin's drive for modernization was far too high, paid for in the blood and suffering of his own people. Stalin's actions continue to influence Russia and the world today. His legacy lives on in the political structures, cultural narratives, and collective memories of societies globally. His rule serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked power, of the fine line between strong leadership and authoritarian rule. Even today, the shadow of Stalin's rule continues to loom large over Russia. The country grapples with his legacy, torn between those who view him as a national hero and those who remember the horrors of his regime. Whether revered or reviled, Joseph Stalin remains a figure of immense historical significance. A testament to the power and peril of absolutist story is a stark reminder of how individuals can shape the course of history, for better or for worse. If you enjoyed this journey into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for more fascinating explorations into the past.